Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Focus to Finance, the channel dedicated to helping you make smarter financial decisions. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's absolutely crucial for financial success budgeting. But more specifically, we're talking about the biggest budgeting mistakes people make that can totally sabotage their financial goals. Look, I get it, budgeting might not be the most exciting thing in the world. But trust me, avoiding these common pitfalls can be the difference between struggling to make ends meet and actually achieving your financial dreams, whether it's buying your dream house, retiring early, or just having that peace of mind knowing you're financially secure. Throughout this video, we'll be breaking down these mistakes one by one, and more importantly, I'm going to give you actionable strategies to fix them so you can get your finances back on track. So, if you're ready to take control of your money and start making real progress, then keep watching. Alright, let's kick things off with mistake number 1, not tracking your expenses. This is one of the most common pitfalls that people fall into when it comes to managing their finances. You guys know I'm all about that data, and when it comes to your money, knowledge is power. Without a clear understanding of where your money is going, it's impossible to make informed decisions about your financial future. You wouldn't believe how many people I talk to who have absolutely no clue where their money is going each month. They might have a rough idea, but they don't have the specifics. And that's where the trouble starts. They're just swiping their credit cards, spending cash, and hoping for the best. This kind of behavior can lead to overspending and financial stress. That's a recipe for disaster. Without tracking, you might find yourself in a situation where you're living paycheck to paycheck, or worse, accumulating debt without even realizing it. It's like trying to navigate a maze blindfolded. You have no idea where you are or where you're going, and you're bound to make mistakes along the way. You need to know exactly where your money is going if you want to control it. This means tracking every single expense, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem. Think about it. How can you possibly identify areas where you can cut back or make adjustments if you don't even know where your money's going in the first place? It's like trying to lose weight without knowing how many calories you're consuming. The good news is, tracking your expenses is easier than ever these days. With the advent of technology, there are countless tools at your disposal to help you keep tabs on your spending. There are tons of apps out there, many of them free, that can do most of the work for you. These apps can categorize your spending, provide insights, and even alert you when you're nearing your budget limits. Personally, I'm a big fan of Mint and Personal Capital, as they offer comprehensive features that make tracking expenses a breeze. But there are plenty of other great options like YNAB or EveryDollar. Each app has its own unique features, so it's worth exploring a few to see which one fits your needs best. Find one that works for you and stick with it. Consistency is key when it comes to tracking your expenses. And hey, if you're more of a pen and paper person, that works too. The method you choose isn't as important as the act of tracking itself. The key is to track every single dollar you spend, no matter how small. Those little expenses, those latte factors as some people call them, they really add up over time. By tracking everything, you'll be amazed at how much more aware you become of your spending habits. This awareness is the first step towards making positive changes in your financial life. You'll start to see patterns and trends that you might not have noticed before. Maybe you'll realize you're spending more on dining out than you thought, or that those small impulse purchases are adding up to a significant amount each month. Once you have this information, you can set realistic financial goals and create a budget that aligns with your priorities. Tracking your expenses is the foundation of good financial management, so start today. Take control of your finances by tracking every dollar you spend. You'll be surprised at how empowering it can be to have a clear picture of your financial situation. Remember, knowledge is power, and when it comes to your money, the more you know, the better off you'll be. Happy tracking. Moving on to mistake number 2, setting unrealistic budgets. This one's a real motivation killer. It's great to be ambitious and set big financial goals, but if your budget is so restrictive that it feels impossible to stick to, you're just setting yourself up for failure. I see this all the time. People get super motivated, they create a super strict budget where they're basically cutting out every single expense they enjoy, and they try to stick to it perfectly, but then life happens. Maybe an unexpected bill pops up, or they get invited to a friend's birthday dinner and suddenly they're off track. And you know what happens then? They get discouraged, they give up, and they go back to their old spending habits. The key here is to be realistic. Don't try to change your entire lifestyle overnight. Start by identifying areas where you can cut back gradually. Maybe you can eat out one less time per week or find a more affordable gym membership. Small changes over time add up to big results. And remember, your budget should be a living, breathing document. It's okay to adjust it as needed based on your changing circumstances. Now let's talk about mistake number 3, not having an emergency fund. This one's huge, guys. Life is unpredictable. Things happen, your car breaks down, you lose your job, you have an unexpected medical expense. These situations can arise out of nowhere and catch you completely off guard. Without an emergency fund, these unexpected events can completely derail your finances and send you spiraling into debt. Imagine the stress of not knowing how you'll cover your next bill or make ends meet. And trust me, I've been there. I know firsthand how overwhelming it can be. When I was younger, I had zero savings. I thought I could get by without an emergency fund. So when my car broke down and I needed a new transmission, I was in a tough spot. I had to put the entire repair on a credit card. The interest piled up and it took me months to pay it off. That was a mistake I don't want you guys to repeat. Learn from my experience. An emergency fund is your financial safety net. It's there to catch you when life throws a curveball. It gives you the peace of mind knowing that you can handle whatever life throws your way without going into debt. You can face emergencies with confidence. So how much should you have in your emergency fund? This is a common question. A good rule of thumb is to have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses saved up. This might seem like a daunting task, but it's achievable with a plan. Now, I know that might seem like a lot, especially if you're just starting out. It can feel overwhelming to think about saving that much, but even if you can only swing $50 or $100 a month, it's better than nothing. Every little bit helps. Start small, be consistent, and watch your emergency fund grow over time. It's all about building a habit. You'll be surprised at how quickly your savings can add up. Before you know it, you'll have a cushion that can protect you from financial stress. So start today and give yourself the gift of financial security. Alright, mistake number 4 is neglecting to review and adjust your budget regularly. Remember how I said your budget should be a living, breathing document? This is where that comes in. Your income, expenses, and financial goals are going to change over time. That means your budget needs to change too. I recommend reviewing your budget at least once a month, if not more often. Take a look at your spending, see if there are any areas where you can cut back, and make sure you're still on track to meet your financial goals. This is also a good time to make adjustments based on any life changes. Did you get a raise? Great, increase your savings rate or allocate more money towards your investments. Did you move to a new city with a higher cost of living? Okay, time to adjust your budget accordingly. The point is, your budget shouldn't be static. It needs to evolve with you. And last but not least, mistake number 5, impulse buying. This one's a killer, guys. We've all been there. It's that moment when you're out with friends, enjoying a sunny day, and suddenly you see something that catches your eye. You're scrolling through social media, you see an ad for something you just have to have, and before you know it, you've whipped out your credit card and clicked buy now. It's so easy to get caught up in the excitement of the moment. Or, you're at the store just picking up a few things and then you get hit with that impulse buy display at the checkout line. Those little items seem so harmless, but they add up quickly. Listen, those displays are designed to make you spend money. Retailers know exactly how to tempt you with last-minute purchases. They're strategically placed and filled with tempting items that are hard to resist. It's all part of a well-thought-out plan to get you to spend more. But here's the thing about impulse buys. They can completely wreck your budget. You might think it's just a small purchase, but those small purchases can add up to a significant amount over time. They're often unplanned and unnecessary, and they can quickly eat away at your hard-earned money. Before you know it, you're wondering where all your money went. So how do you avoid the impulse buy trap? It starts with awareness and a little bit of planning. First and foremost, be aware of your triggers. Understanding what prompts you to make impulse purchases is key. Do you tend to impulse buy when you're stressed, bored, or feeling down? Identifying these emotional triggers can help you take control. Once you know your triggers, you can start to develop strategies for avoiding them. For example, if you know you shop when you're bored, find other activities to keep you occupied. Maybe that means unsubscribing from tempting email lists or avoiding certain stores altogether. Out of sight, out of mind. Another helpful tip is to implement a waiting period for any non-essential purchases. This gives you time to really think about whether you need the item. Tell yourself you have to wait 24 hours or even a week before buying something. This cooling off period can help you make more rational decisions. Chances are, after that waiting period, the urge to buy will have passed. You'll feel more in control and less likely to make a purchase you'll regret later. Remember, it's all about making mindful choices and being aware of your spending habits. By taking these steps, you can avoid the impulse buy trap and keep your budget on track. There you have it, guys. The top budgeting mistakes you absolutely need to avoid. Remember, budgeting doesn't have to be a drag. By avoiding these common pitfalls and implementing the strategies we discussed today, you can take control of your finances, achieve your financial goals, and live a more financially secure life. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel for more personal finance tips and tricks. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Thanks for watching.